Welcome back, Rage Nation. We are at it again. Got myself Pete here, and of course, I am joined with Monsignor Dixon. How you doing, my friend?
I live.
I live too, man. I feel like we haven't recorded in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Holy moly.
Well, I was telling a bunch of people, I was like, yeah, during the summer we tend to record a little less, but I think we had a decent little chunk of a break there, and we're ready to get back at her.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And what we're going to talk about today is I actually thought it'd be interesting for Dixon and I to share with people our top 10 list of favorite slash maybe we think it's powerful Malifaux releases from the Ashes book. So basically the 10 models that we have either seen, played, or just think are really interesting, good, cool. This isn't necessarily like a power ranking. Maybe Dixon's is, but mine's not. Mine's more like, hey, some of this is power, but some of this is actually just pretty cool stuff I noticed. I don't know what you think, Dixon.
No, I think mine is more like vibes and power, like a mix between both. Because
Yeah, me too.
my top three is definitely power.
Yeah, my top three as well. Actually, I'd say my top four are pretty much power.
Nah, definitely not my top four. But like top three, yes. Because my fourth pick, we'll get to it. But it's like it's my favorite model. I thought it was gonna be somebody else, but it's like you'll see when we get there.
Okay. Yeah, but before we get into it, make sure that you guys are checking us out. You can do that definitely on our Discord channel. We have dozens of people on there talking at all different hours of the day. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel. Actually, putting this out, I'm going to change the date on it, but we are doing a giveaway of the Always Watching box for the Nightcrawler Network, which may or may not be on Dixon and I's list. So I'm going to post a link to the video for that giveaway, and you can go ahead if you want that box possibly to be given to you. Make sure that you just are subscribed, you like the video, and then leave a comment on why you want the box, and you will be entered to win. So make sure that you guys check that out on the YouTube channel. Link will be in the show notes. And then also you can check us out and support us directly on our Patreon page. So if you go to patreon.com/RageQuitWire, you can support us, and we give you content early. You get to hang out in the chat. We always have one, two, or three people popping in the chat while we're live recording, and you get to see that way before it releases. But then if you're a patron, you also get all the episodes at least a day in advance from the other people. So that's definitely a nice little perk. Plus, I ended up sending out a bunch of stickers to patrons, and I think probably within the next 2 months, I'll reach out to my international Patreons and patrons, I should say, and we'll get them some stickers as well. So definitely cool things getting sent out to the patrons for their support. And there's affiliation link. That's in the notes. I'm not going to go through that. But if you want to put in our code while you buy stuff directly from Wyrd, that gives a little bit back to the podcast. So we appreciate you there too. So Dixon, I want to go through some of the honorable mentions that I was like, yeah, these are pretty cool models that I have seen, or I think that they're really cool in the Ashes of Malifaux book. So I'm just going to give you all four, and then I'm going to get your initial reaction from like what sticks out from you.
Oh yeah, because literally, I did not even think about making a honorable mention. I'm sorry. There's so much.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, so the ones that I have either seen played or I just think are going to look really cool, I'm just going to list all four of them because there's four honorable mentions from me. So the first one is Bash, then there's Toast, Hand of Janus, and then the Tunnel Rats. So I don't know what sticks out to you on that list, Dixon, but I definitely like all four of those models.
So Hand of Janus shocks me that it's not in the top 10.
I had to make some decisions. I think you'll see some of my reasoning once I explain them. But yeah, I think Hand of Janus is pretty cool. It was pretty close to making my top 10, especially if you like a lot of the construct lists that you can build in Explorers. It just has a lot of cool things.
Yeah, no, for sure shocked. Because I'm like, wait, no, hold on. How is this?
I guess we know one of them that's in Dixon's list somewhere.
Oh yeah. Like it's a mini spoiler, but like, come on. Like, all right. I was like,
if I had to guess your favorite model out of this list, it's probably Toast.
Why you say that?
Because when we did the Zip episode, you were super excited.
Okay. I'm not saying, but I already spoiled something. I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, but I will say my favorite out of this kind of like honorable mentions is definitely Bash. And it's not even in Bayou, it's straight up in December. It's so much fun with December, just throwing this gator around the entire board. There's so much movement. You can easily get it on the center line turn one.
I am not as sold on Bash. I'm not saying he's bad because like there's a lot of people over there in the interwebs that really want to say that Bash is bad, but I I don't I don't think he's in the top 20 to be honest. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's like I said, he's not in my top 10. He's an honorable mention because I do think he's better in December because it kind of gives you that question of are they going to do the armor 2 hazardous ice golem or am I going to see the alligator? And both kind of present their own problems.
Yep, for sure.
So I think that kind of gives a cool mini game to December. Plus, it's just really solid. It has a lot of triggers. It's terrifying. It's ruthless. So if I'm going up against a lot of terrifying stuff as the Rasputina player, it's definitely one that's like, all right, we're playing against a lot of terrifying. Slot it right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's get into the list. So we're going to start with number 10 of what you think is your number 10 model for the Ashes of Malifaux book. So let's start with you, Dixon. What was your number 10 model that you thought was either, well, you can explain to us why you put it at 10.
Oh, Haberdasher. Not even close.
So Haberdashers, not even Jebediah, the Haberdashers.
Who says anything about who's this Jebediah guy? I don't know what you're talking about. Haberdashers. Now,
all right, well, give us your reasoning here.
Very simple. You can summon them with both Summer and you can summon them with Jeb, and they are significant. They're super cheap. They're in the way. You have to deal with them. They make schemes happen randomly. They're really. I don't know what to say. Like these models are great for no reason at all.
Well, I see. The thing is, I like them a lot with Big Hat because they're just good, cheap, ridiculous summons. And then in Mawtucket with Jebediah, it's like, oh yeah, you get them there too, and they just cause problems.
Yep, that's basically it.
And they're disguised for some reason. You know, they are just really, really solid. It's going to be very similar to a pick that I'm doing later, but I definitely find it interesting that you just picked the Haberdasher. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, is there anything else specific on the card that you have found to be really cool?
No, like it's literally that 3 points make it so that he's super easy to summon. The fact that he's summonable at all, the fact that he's significant at all, like it's just he makes schemes happen. Yeah. Like one of the schemes that you can get with this very easily is, I mean, granted it has to like survive, but you can just what's the word I'm looking for? The one hold up the forces because people forget about them. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's a 3 point model. I don't care about it.
Boom, you score it.
I score it. Yeah, because literally they're like, well, should I kill that?
And they can score it on things that you're not even expecting them to score it on, like a 5-stone minion. They can score off of that.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I had to put
also,
them on the list.
Them counting as scheme markers for actions, abilities, and triggers is also pretty good.
That is nuts. Yeah, I agree.
Because there's a lot of things in Bayou that either remove scheme markers or, you know, you can pick up scheme markers. There's just a lot of things you can do with them.
Yep. And that's basically the reason why I had to like put him on the list because like Jeb is amazing, but like the Haberdashers just randomly win you the game for no reason at all. You're like, what? How?
Yeah, so my number 10 is actually one that I wasn't expecting, and that is Zhang, the big 10-stone pseudo emissary for 10 Thunders.
No kidding. Why?
Dude, so I have played against this thing. One, I don't know if you've played against it versus Lance.
I have.
But I have, and I've played against it with a couple other people. And this thing just seems to do more work than I thought it was going to do. Like I was playing the other day and I was doing Von Stuck versus Story.
Okay.
And Lance brought Zhang along for the ride.
Oh, yeah.
And Warning Growl just ruined my day, dude. Like getting Min 2 with the Valedictorian just felt super bad with this thing hanging around.
What? But you have access to Puncture.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, when you cheat against story, if you're next to Lin Lee, you don't get the suit, so it doesn't matter.
All right, all right. I mean, I
That
honestly,
might be more of a Lin Lee problem.
I'm gonna go with maybe Lin Lee part because like Shannon is great. I have actually no negatives against him, but I did not expect him in your list. He
I
may
didn't
make the
expect it
20.
either, but here's the other things that I will tell you what else is very frustrating playing against Zhang is the feline reflexes having to discard, otherwise you're attacking versus stat 7 move
Yep.
is ridiculous.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I did not comprehend how annoying that was going to be when I went in to kill this cat.
Yep. Yep.
So that was another kind of thing that kind of took me by surprise. Also, 345 mutilate trigger that sucks, especially in Lin Lee because she also has mutilate.
Yeah.
Uh, Pouncing strike, that's always really good. Worthy opponent, good card cycling where you just draw a card. And then also just intimidating roar and stalk prey. Also, the ram trigger can give you a free attack. Just really, really good. Uh, it was surprising. I didn't think stat 5 enforcer being 10 stones was going to make my list, but the more I played it, the more I found this model just to be surprisingly good.
I mean, honestly, the discard plus the warning ground. That's the reason why I said he might make the 20.
He's very taxing. Like he
Yes.
taxes you a lot.
Yeah. It min damage is like the only thing that like truly makes this model scared. It's like, oh, my min damage is 5 with like say
Oh yeah.
freaking Mancha Roja, which I've been
Yeah,
playing like
if you can like two shot this thing, yeah, definitely worth doing.
yes.
But if you're kind of like this weird, like I have min 2 damage crew, it's like good luck killing this dude.
Absolutely, yeah. That is the big issue. If you have no way to deal like good min damage to him or good like double positive damage, then yeah, I agree with you. That's the reason why I was surprised when you said that the valedictorian Val didn't kill this thing. Val with two
No,
severes, which should kill this thing. Two
to
focus.
to be fair,
Yeah.
Lin Lee was nearby, so I couldn't really cheat for it.
Oh.
And then I flipped terrible, and I had 2 focus on the Val. I was because I was getting ready to be like, I'm going to hit it with one of these cards, and
Yeah.
then I just didn't have enough cards to discard, so I'm flipping against stat 7. It was just the tax of it all.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't like respect it. Like definitely.
I did not.
Yeah, you definitely have to. This is a model that like you put a random terracotta warrior behind, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's too much tax. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what to
and
do
not
now.
only that, plus, of course, I was playing against Story the one time that really frustrated me.
Mm.
And Tong Guan's there being a jerk. So it's like, oh, good, I'm going to attack Zhang. No, you're not. Here's Tong Guan.
Yeah, yeah, just little things like that. Little like the more you
Layers.
layer, yeah, the more you layer, this model is annoying.
Yeah, and I think Harley said in the chat that Yoko plus Zhang's speed, that Zhang ran across the map to the damned and basically killed it in one
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I saw what he wrote. I was like, dang, because at that point it's like take 3, 4, 5, then take 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Better than I thought because I didn't think a lot of these 10 stone, enforcers were going to be as good as I think some of them are.
Oh yeah.
And Zhang's the one that I was like, man, I like this a lot. This kind of layers very well with a lot of 10 Thunders crew.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. Definitely gonna be talking about something related to that in the top 10.
All right. Well, what's your number 9 there, Dixon?
Ghost Eater.
Ooh, the Ghost Eater. That is a popular one. I do know.
Yes, yes. I still think this thing is correct. I know that there's some talk about Ezekiel instead, but I think this one, especially in Revenant, is pretty gross. I know it's significantly more powerful in Retainer, but I think Revenant is so like disgusting in tournament. Riva has just been like putting down the hatred, and I think this
Yeah,
thing
and
is
I
next
mean,
levels.
he's a healer, right? Because he has a instill youth, which is always good.
Right.
He summons the little ghost lights, and I believe Riva does something like when models with burning die, they drop pyres or something. I can't remember
Yeah,
on some of them.
oh man, I wish because like the thing is like when I was like thinking about this, I've had this since we finished the last on Guild.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it out. I was like, okay, so what models did we like talk about that I'm like disgusted by? And this was in the list because of that. I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Well, I know Rich specifically has a lot of games on his Beard mini stream,
Hmm.
and Ghost Eater has been a model that he's played a lot with Riva. So
Yeah.
with Riva, I know it's a lot about just manufacturing more pyres. Spirit Barrage is always good.
Yep.
And also, like you were saying in Retainer, those little ghost lights definitely help you draw cards. So
Yep. And
because
randomly,
you can just keep passing the upgrades back and forth.
the fact that it says an enforcer is kind of weird because this might as well have been a henchman because I literally has all the henchman stuff.
Yeah, as a tuned and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool model. I definitely like it. I know people are finding a lot of cool little combos to do with it. I haven't played it because I don't know. Do you? I think this is a model that's only good in Retainer and Revenant. Do you see any out of keyword abilities with this model?
Ah, geez. I again,
I don't think so.
yeah. When I made the list, I should have wrote down the list, the reasons. I thought I would remember. I would have to think about that. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. So definitely a solid model. And once again, it's kind of weird we're putting these enforcers because everybody's been crapping on enforcers for like a long time.
Well,
But
dude, they finally started getting really good enforcers. I love that about
tuning them up a bit, yeah.
I that's great. I just keep at it.
This is the interesting way to get enforcers. I'm gonna pick one that I think I don't know. Dixon's gonna probably be happy about it, but I don't know whether to do for my number 9 V or Herb. So I'm going. I don't know which one to do, right? Because they're
Oh
both kind of
man.
like I feel like they're a package deal. Is Herb not even on there? I guess I'm gonna go with V then. So I think these two made my list. V's really interesting, but
Oh yeah.
so is Herb. Herb scoots around so much more than you think he would in his wheelchair.
And he's
But
harder and he's actually harder to kill than B.
I agree with
That
that.
is the
But I
greatest
think
part.
what V brings that's really interesting is just a lot of the one, people have been telling me that she's very good in like and so is Herb
Hmm.
in amalgamation
Yes.
because they just help with some of the mobility issues that I think they probably have in some matchups and bring some tech and can like unbury and bury stuff.
Hmm.
But I also like just the fact that they put out injured, they do the normal kind of obliteration stuff,
Right.
but also V is just kind of this weird healer, right?
Okay.
That can also heal buried models. Gather intelligence is kind of ridiculous. Uh,
I mean,
I it makes Terra's turn one even scarier than it normally is.
I it's kind of curious that you're saying that because like I do remember now that I kind of I do have a honorable mention, and V is in that. Like, there's three models that are an honorable mention. Now that we're talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm definitely gonna say V is in that. Mostly because of Jury Rig, because it brings you consistency, and
Yeah,
because of the Gather Intel. Both triggers are amazing. Specifically, the triggers. It's the reason why I think that I remember this model being in the fight for the 10th, but the Haberdasher beat it out.
yeah, dude. Gather intel is so good because one, you can push just your threatening models kind of around, right?
Right,
So
right.
you're like, I remember when I used to play a blit that Talos just kind of stood in the back and waited for things to get buried.
Oh, yeah.
But now with Gather Intel, you just throw him up the board. It's like,
Yeah.
yep, I'm going to scoot you up the board. I'm going to scoot Herb up the board. I'm going to scoot Terror up the board. Just and the fact that the triggers let you, bury V,
Mm.
which is good because that lets her then possibly get up the board.
Yep.
But you also get to draw a card potentially. And then the other trigger out of sync. Have you found some good use for that?
Oh, absolutely. That is. I usually put that on Talos or on the Nothing Beast. Like, most of the time it's Talos because I don't know why I find it so much harder for people to kill Talos,
Mm-hmm.
even though the Nothing Beast is arguably just as hard to kill.
Yeah, just putting like a negative to attack that model is pretty good.
Oh yeah, like especially if you can somehow also put it in concealment. It's like
You
all of a
could put
sudden,
it on your. So if people are like going after Levy like hardcore, you could put that on Levy as well.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
dude. Like just gonna mention the other two just in case. Of my honorable mention that we're fighting for the
Sure.
10th. That again, Haberdasher beat them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The other two are the six shooter and Ellie Mae. So you're not gonna see those two in my top 10, even though they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, talking about specifically, I mean, we're not going to go over both of them, but I will say that LMA, I've seen you do a lot of like crack toss lists with her where models that should have no business getting tossed are getting tossed up the board.
Good lord, yeah, she and that's like not even the best thing that she does, but yeah,
Yeah, I know, right?
like that's just a nice combo.
All right. Well, what is your number 8
Okay, looking at
model
my
there, Dixon?
list, this is Hannah Janice. It's
Oh, handed it. So you actually put it on your list.
it's I believe it's the only one out of the emissary like that I put in my list.
Now,
Yeah.
I am curious because so the reason why I didn't put it in my list 100% is because I haven't seen it on the board. Have
Oh.
you seen this actually played, Dixon?
Oof. Only like months ago. I haven't actually seen it since, but also I haven't seen many what you call it explorer players. I played one explorer player and he
Fair.
was playing Apex and he was a new player, so it's more like a demo. It wasn't a demo,
Yeah.
but it was like, you know what I mean.
So what has y'all jazzed about the Hand of Janus?
So just quick recap of what we talked about in the explorers. His damage is absurd and his resiliency is also kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, especially if they're not expecting the armor.
That is right. Because like random, since he's versatile, he just goes everywhere, and his damage is just, I really that range attack is just cracked. It's just cracked.
Yeah, and that's not even so. I mean, the range attack is good, but also you have the 3-4-5 with those sweet triggers on its 2-inch melee.
Yes, yes. And then randomly, I know for a fact that both Frantic and Towering Figure just become incredibly relevant just because I play models that have those. And those two things in the front of the card are the fact that he has them put together is just like, what? like,
There is nothing on this card that is worthless.
yes.
The only thing that I would say is bad is just its 4 defense, but that's kind of on par for big metal objects.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, literally, it's the only thing about his card that I'm just like, man, that's bad. But look at the entire diamond encrusted gold platinum that you can see
Of
in
the
the
rest
rest
of
of
the
it.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And also just excess funds, just getting a part of a free upgrade that's really good for explorers is also really
Yeah.
good.
Literally everything in this card is gold. Everything. There's literally nothing.
Gold, Jerry.
Yeah, everything except literally just size 4 and defense 4. That's it.
Yeah, sometimes the size 4 is good, but yeah, there's definitely some liability with that.
Mm.
So this one actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting this to be my number 8.
Okay.
Not going to lie. Because 1, I don't play this keyword a lot. And 2, I just don't think I respected what was going on.
Oh.
But that was actually the puke pile called the leftovers.
I freaking know. And I have seen this thing twice now. And it's like,
Dude. So what I did not respect about this model. So 1, it has a good attack. It puts out stunned with lecture notes. Oozing mass is surprisingly the thing that I find most interesting about all the versions of this. Just 6-inch pushes, don't need to flip it, just go.
Yep.
But the big thing that sticks out to me about this is the demise. So if you decide to kill this thing, I think that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because it splits into 2, and then if you kill a bisection, that splits into 2. And I didn't realize until I put this on the table, Dixon, that those replaces are also significant.
Oh yeah.
Even the tiny little last bites are significant. I was able to like double up on my raid, the vaults scoring, because I was like, cool, you killed the leftovers. Well, here's 2 of them now.
Dude, this thing is nuts in question in like obscure ways. But the thing is, like, if you do happen to have anti-healing or anti-demise, then yeah, you're right. That is the one
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I
So,
also think you don't even need that. If you have conditions, just kill it with fire.
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, the two times that I played against it, I lost, and I did not have fire. I have poison. I was like, ah,
Yeah, and it's like, what are you not going to kill this model? Like,
yeah,
because it's running around the board doing work.
yeah. I have poison because I was playing plague, so I was like, I had access to poison, but I should have brought the DCU. I just didn't realize what was going to
Well,
happen.
I was going to say poison doesn't do anything against this, right? Because it has perverse metabolism.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying out the
It,
fumigator.
it literally has to be fire. You got to kill it with fire.
Yeah, I mean, I was against Transmortis on both games, and I was just not
Also,
expecting that.
oh yeah, so the other thing I want to mention about leftovers, let me go to the buy section because this trigger came up clutch. So with its revolting swipe, it has a mass trigger called Touch of Madness that makes you just randomly discard cards.
Yes,
So I just hit that like 2 times against Lance the other day and made him pitch like a 12 and a 13.
that is. Oh my god, that attack is on Pandora. That's how I know about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just these are solid like, and granted they only have a few hit points when they come onto the board
Hmm.
when you kill the leftovers.
Yep.
But these things, I haven't played them in McMorning. I only played them with Transmortis, right? They're good in Transmortis, but man, if you could put poison on this stuff like in McMorning, this has to be so nuts to play against.
Yeah. By the way, I did not like kill it. I tried to engage it and like try to leave it alone. It is still not like because of the bonus. The not the
The
bonus.
oozing mass.
Because yeah, that tactical action specifically, you just can't really ignore it. And then he gets into base-to-base contact with something that you love and just ruins your day.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I was trying to figure out is in Transmortis, I couldn't think of a good way to put poison on it. So that was the only problem I had.
I don't remember. I don't think he did. I really don't think he did.
I don't think there's anything directly in Keyword that just puts poison out. So I almost feel like I would have to bring either a versatile or out of Keyword, maybe like the what is the stupid McMorning? What's that shared model that McMorning and McCabe share?
The gold something gold. Oh my god!
Little skeleton creepy dude.
I know. I want to say cultivator, but it's not cultivator. It's like curator. That's the word.
Curator. Hey, Harley got it.
Oh, thanks, Harley. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you bring like something like that out of Keyword just to get poison really built up on it, and then just let it go.
I mean, honestly, without the poison, he was doing God's work. Like it's just
Yeah, dude Dixon. That is what was amazing to me is I was playing it and I didn't even have poison on it. I'm like, if this thing had poison to heal itself, that would be nuts.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think McMorning players, you have to tell us how much do you love that model because I feel like it does a ton of work in McMorning for sure. For sure. So Dixon, how about your number 7?
Leftovers.
Oh, was it?
Yes. That's the reason why I thought it was funny.
Great minds.
Yeah. Well, you put it on your 8.
I did. You bumped it up a spot.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I love this thing and I hate playing against it at the same time.
How many times have you played against it?
Just twice. And it was Transmortis both times. It was just the first version of the master. I don't think it was the same player. I'm looking at my app and it doesn't look like it was the same player.
When you played against this, Dixon, did they try to leverage the futile struggle at all with making?
Yeah, that's all
making you
did.
stay. Yeah, just throw it in your face.
Yeah, they did that. One player was doing the stun thingy a lot and just like focus, hitting me with the mouth thingy, trying to get that accidental rollover just to go over it. But like just getting into base-to-base contact and forcing people to do the poison thing, that was more than enough. It was annoying as heck. Yeah, dude.
Well, also, if they put up rancid smell, that can be pretty decent too in that type of scenario where it's like, cool, if you want to attack something else, it's going to be at a negative.
Okay. I think it was just mostly focus punch. Focus punch.
Yeah, I think so. And I love that this model has lecture notes because it's just another stun you have to worry about. And it has an on your heels trigger. So if you get that mask,
Yeah.
that's just like chef's kiss.
Oh, good lord. Yeah.
This model scoots, man. Let's hear. What was my number 7? Oh, I love this little dude. This beautiful. Where are you? Sorry, I gotta look at him. There
That's
he
good.
is. The alleyway echo is
Yep.
my number 7.
Oh yeah.
This thing is cracked. Let me just tell you, if you don't have guns or range attack, this thing will ruin your entire crew.
So I'm gonna say right now, I agree with you, and he still didn't make my top 10.
Sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to be curious to see how yours rounds out. But I, this model alone almost makes me want to play Wastrel. Like I've been on the fence about playing Wastrel for a long time. The Alleyway Echo is just so interesting to me. On top of the other model that is in the same keyword.
Yeah.
So I love that he has combat finesse. He's speed 6. You can give him fast, but when you get fast, he can decide to place? Is it 5 inches, 6 inches?
It's a leap. Yeah. And you told me that he gets to do it twice.
He can do it twice.
Yeah, I personally haven't put him on the table. I am excited for the prospect because I love playing McCabe. But you know me, like I put McCabe on the table just as an excuse sometimes.
Yeah, and he just lots of cool tech on there. Ignores a lot of concealing. And matter of fact, even gets some benefits from some of the concealing stuff.
Yep.
Puts out some conditions, has some triggers to get extra attacks. So, I lash out is only 3/3/4, but you also have to remember, specifically in McCabe, that if you give certain upgrades to this dude, it just makes him way more deadly, especially the one that ignores like everything you love, like hard to kill,
Yep.
demise, and all that other crap, armor, shielded, everything.
I mean, honestly, just on the leap alone, I should have thought about him more. But like the other rest of my tops, like my top 10 is mostly because of I was thinking about GG4. And like Alleyway Echo with McCabe murders things, but I don't know.
I think he could also be a
strongly.
pretty. I think he also can be a pretty ridiculous beater schemer because he can go hunt down those squishy models and then just murder them.
I agree. And I still like put the rest because like even Hano Janus doesn't like go to you and murder you. Like no, he's
So
just like fighting.
Spilled Paint Pod asked if Wastrel has the ability to put out shadow markers.
No.
And normally the answer to that would be no, but they did get a model, not that guy. They got Host to Cat. So Host to Cat's not only a healer,
Right.
but he also puts out shadow markers. So that's kind of how you set up the double fast.
The Baron Samedi lookalike people. He is good. I still remember we had that conversation and people were like iffy on him.
Yeah.
What I remember,
I think people are starting to come around to him a little bit.
Yeah, what I remember saying though is like in 10 Thunders, you're gonna be playing the Ban Ying Wombo combo anyway. So that's solved right there.
Yeah. But I definitely, like I said, anything that has combat finesse, you definitely, if you're playing against McCabe now, you have to be aware that model might hit the table, and you might want to have a good ranged attack to try and take it out.
Yeah. So you get the Alleyway Echo, and then you have access to Wombo combo Ban Ying in 10 Thunders, and then in in Explorers, you still have Host Ducat, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep. And what is your number 6 there, Dixon?
Jebediah.
You
thought that I was gonna put the Haberdashers and not put Jebediah? Man, it's you wrong. Dude, Jebediah is so good. Holy
now, I haven't seen him on the table yet, but what do you think about him?
Oh, I put him on the table. I played against him on the table. The model is cracked. I forgot at one point that he is an enforcer because of how good he is. Let me just put it that way.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just can't believe they made him armor 2 and with a sick gun and summons haberdashers and puts out pit traps and has ride with me. This dude has all the stuff on his card.
Oh yeah. Dude, that scamper gets so much mileage.
I feel like the only matchup where you really don't want to bring him is anything that is like Dreamer that just targets your willpower and ignores your armor.
Yeah, but that's like a rare thing because I
I
kind
know
of
it's
see it
not. That's
coming.
like what, maybe 1 out of 10 matchups.
Yeah, probably.
So do you find yourself like how do you find yourself playing Jebediah when he's on the table? Are you using him as like a focused up good gun, or
Yes.
are you setting up the pit traps? Like what's been some of your lines of
Nope.
play with him?
Focused up good gun and summoning haberdashers, and the pit traps are nice, but like since he's an enforcer, you can't really get that trigger. You know what I mean? You can't like stone for it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, most of the time it's just like good positioning, really great mobile
The
gun
real
platform.
question is, have you given him the ghillie suit to taxi Maw around?
No, I haven't done that.
I
How can I don't think
would have
you
thought
can
that
do
would have
that.
been something you tried.
No, no. I played him in summer,
Okay.
and honestly, like he just the scoot and boot. Just that alone, I don't have him anywhere near anybody else. I just try to like
Yeah.
do the periphery, and if anybody comes close to him, he just like Gatling gun twice, and it's just that's just good enough.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you can get focus on him, 246, man, that severe spikes super hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, and randomly, this is also freaking hilarious.
Ricochet just kills things.
The old man Cranky, right? You know the
Yep.
super buff aura that he has now.
Oh yeah.
Haberdashers just randomly taking the hit for you too. It's just like make Jebediah even harder to kill. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I really want somebody to champion Big Hat because there is a lot of good tech in that keyword now.
Hmm.
100%. Just so much like layers of defense, so many like really decent models. The summons are good. Like I'm just really curious to see somebody play it well.
I'm even bad at him, and he still got value. Like I'm just like so excited to have a good gun.
Well, I don't think my number 6 is going to be surprised to anybody that's seen me playing lately, but I've been putting Ezekiel in almost every list just to see how good he is.
Yeah, I mentioned it when I was like Ghost. Like he's not in my top 10, but he is so freaking hilarious. I'm assuming that you gotten a lot of value out of him.
I have. I've been trying. So I tried him in Seamus. I've tried him in Molly. I've tried him in. Uh, I even tried him in Von Stuck because I don't know if you remember a lot of Von Stuck's cards, but they have a lot of bonuses that target corpse markers.
Uh
And if you do that, you remove them and you get to like draw a card, right?
huh.
And you actually put a scheme marker down too. So he like enabled that pretty quick.
Right.
Also, spoiler alert: if you haven't played against Zeke, healing energy isn't a resist flip. So if you target your opponent with that, you just lose scheme markers.
That is so sad. You're
So if you don't need to heal anything with them, you're just like, cool, I'm going to target my opponent over there. Pick up that scheme marker in your deployment
so
zone, please.
basically what you're saying is if your opponent is not seeker, you just get free value out of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, it's so gross. Like I know we talked about it when we were talking about Resurrectionist, but that, in my opinion, that is the strongest thing in his card.
Yeah, and there's also some keywords where obviously you have more undead, so fresh meat's really good because you can summon zombies but also move your crew.
Okay.
Zombie Apocalypse is really solid turn one, especially in the last game. No. It was the other game I played, Seamus 2.
Mm-hmm.
I brought one of their undead showgirls. I can't remember what their name is off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
And I had the upgrade that has the blasphemous ritual. So I just used that blasphemous ritual twice off of 2 zombies. And Seamus and the boys and girls all had focus too.
The Rotten Bells finally getting
Yeah, the
some
Rotten
use.
Bells.
Yeah, it's so sad. I used to love those models back in V1.
Yeah, I mean they're decent. I don't know if I like them or the Dead Doxies better because I don't have as many reps with
Okay.
Seamus 2 and the keyword yet, but
I mean,
I'm starting to get it.
I love the Doxies more because movement shenanigans with the Doxies are significantly easier.
Also, like Ezekiel in like Riva, Ezekiel in McMorning, there's just so many crews that love corpses. So the fact that he just generates a crap ton of them on top of being a healer and a good support is just really good.
Yep, just a 6. That's it.
And he has intuition on his card for some reason.
I mean, that makes sense. It just kind of like,
He's using the voodoo to see the future.
no, it's just like he has whispers. That's it.
Something.
Yeah,
All right. What is your number 5, Dixon?
Rodriguez.
The director?
Yep, that
This guy's
is
pretty good.
Director Rodriguez. Dude, this thing
He's a house.
I played him like 4 times, probably more, but I only remember 4 games right now because I was like, the first thing I did was like go play some guild just to get it out of the system before I played Outcast. And I played
Yeah.
Rodriguez. Dude, he houses like entire corners by himself. Like literally.
Yeah. I have. So this guy is definitely interesting. We're on number 5. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely a top 5 model. This dude has good stats. He supports his keywords. He might even see some play out of keyword in certain situations.
Yeah, basically a free walk. He sets himself on fire. He can set things on fire. He can execute things on fire. Like it's so dumb. Like I don't know how to describe it better than that. I
Well, let me ask you this because I think this is a good question. With when you look at director Rodriguez versus Samuel Hopkins, why is Rodriguez good, whereas Sam Hopkins is tended not to be brought a lot?
I mean, to get the joke out of the way, who? All right. That being said, Sam is missing too much. He doesn't have the defensive value of a model equal his points. He doesn't have the offensive value of a model equal his points. The only thing I think they overvalued when making him is the fact that he puts fire whenever he hurts you.
Yeah.
So Rodriguez, if you look at it, Sam is from like the first version of Mark III of Malifaux third edition,
Yeah.
and Rodriguez has had like 4-5 years of developing behind him. So he looks like a 10-point model.
I feel like Sam Hopkins should be closer to what director Rodriguez looks like.
I think every competitive guild player that loves Sonya agrees with you.
Yeah.
I'm not even a guild player, and I want Sam to be better because like I want
Yeah.
to see him on the
Well,
table.
I think part of it is because his backstory is really cool.
Yeah,
So I think that's why a lot of people like kind of root for him.
yep. I agree. But yeah, no, Rodriguez, the fact that he moves, like he basically has 3 AP. One of them has got to be for a walk, quote unquote, because
Yeah.
hovering flame is way better than a walk.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
you go through
Just
models.
unresisted burning.
Unresisted burning that you walk, like you go through models, like that is specifically because like the thing is I want to say like at least one of one the my favorite game that I played him, I played corner, and I just sent him by himself to fight off basically a 17 points worth of models, and he won.
Also, Breath of Fire with an undead execute is really cool.
The Breath of Fire, by the way, that is probably the reason, if I remember that game a little bit better, of why I won, because like, you just splash over everything.
Just hitting that 4 double blast.
Yeah, I was playing against another guild player. That's what it was. And yes, he killed so many camera bots, dude. Like, he murders so many camera bots.
Yeah.
He murders a bunch of camera bots, the undercover reporter, and one more model I can't remember right now.
You know, one of my favorite ways to deal with camera bots is play Sandeep 2 and throw a move 13 shockwave at him.
Yeah, no, I think I sent you a picture of the game because like I won a duel with a 9 and my opponent dropped down a 13 and he was still like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind, doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I definitely like him a lot as well. Yeah. So my number 5 is actually a model we already talked about with Jebediah.
Bro, like, he's so good. Like the only reason he's not higher is because Rodriguez was cracked.
So the only thing I'll say about Jebediah is I'll talk about him more kind of like in the Maw sphere.
Yeah.
So you focused a little bit more on the gun. I think the positioning of Ride With Me with Maw's crew is just really good. But on top of that, the trampling hooves, 2, 3, 4, but you put out injured. It doesn't even say if you damage. It just says, hey, you gain injured.
Yeah.
And then place this model anywhere into base contact with the target. But clever ruse, pushing the target 3 inches towards a pit trap marker, just putting another injured, and then, hey, you're in a pit trap. Just injured 2 kills most models.
Dude, this model is so fun. He's so fun. I still don't think that he's like better Then my my fourth pick.
Yeah, we'll talk about the fours here in a second. But yeah, I like him in Maw a ton. He's definitely going to make Big Hat better.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I was definitely
yeah. I
definitely
mean,
happy with this model.
I only play him in Big Hat. I completely forgot that he was Trixie at one point because I just played so much Big Hat with him.
All right, what's your number 4 there, Dixon?
Toast, unironically.
Toad of the town.
Oh my god, this model is so good. It's so good, and he's only 6 points.
Witness me.
Oh, he's the Doof Warrior. I mean, we talked about him a little bit when we were talking about Sip. I'm tempted to just start taking this model out of keyword because he's so
Yes,
good.
give him his. Well, the beautiful thing, he's versatile, so you can. No tax.
I completely missed that. I
Oh yeah, he's
really,
only 6 stones. Doesn't matter who you bring him with.
yeah, win or lose, I don't care. This model has been close to the MVP on most games. Like he's competing with the freaking first mate. And
Well,
like,
he's very efficient.
yeah, like most of the time it's either like Mancha Roja MVP, it was like a 10-point model, or first mate, an MVP 9-point model, and then this model, second place. And I'm just like, man, this is so much value for 6 points.
Now can you, because I think when especially newer players look at this model, Dixon, they're seeing the movement 3 and they're like, why would you be excited about this?
Right.
So can you actually kind of explain some of the movement tricks you've learned when playing Toast?
So honestly, it's not even like super weird because you have Zip, and Zip is like the movement shenanigan guy, so title at least. I think I played Toast like 7 times, all 7 games that I played with Zip 2 in the last like month.
Yeah, and Zip 2 can just push it 5 inches up the board.
And I didn't even have to like half the time. Most of the time it was like, all right, second to last activation, I move Mancha Roja all the way up. But the value, just the value and hold the wheel is just obscene. Literally, it's like you take the wheel, drop a scheme marker, then altering turtle to move 6 inches up, and you just like leaving something for the prospector. At least this is at least an outcast, right?
Yeah.
It's just the mobility is ridiculous, and then you have Bo nearby usually because Toast doesn't usually go all across the midline too much. He just like stays around the edges.
But he can if he needs to.
Yeah, he could if he really, because like once somebody gets into combat with him, he just like deuces. I'm out. I'm just gonna leave.
I also like that it has a good range attack with the flamethrower, and then it also has a decent melee just to cause problems there as well.
Yeah, no, I said it in the Zipcast, but that was actually true. One of the games that I played, I hit somebody with a red Joker. I don't remember if it
And
was
did
like
5 double blast.
and then it was just absurd. I was like, I didn't hit the trigger. Obviously, it was just like on the damage.
Dude, how many models can survive 5 damage with burning 2 on them?
Not many, I can tell you that right now. It literally ended the game. Like I forgot who it was that I hit, but I hit basically that model and like a master and something else. It's just like glorious fire.
Yeah, it's a fun model. That's why I put it on my honorable mention, because I'm like, I haven't played with it or against it, but I just see this card. I'm like, my goodness, I can see the stars on how some of these actions will just cause chaos.
Yeah, I mean the freaking catch the threats charge wombo combo with ramming speed. I want to set that up. I haven't done it yet, but that's like one of the things that I put in my radar, and somehow it hasn't been needed. Whenever I won, it's because I used not only Toast well, but like something else. But Toast has always been like key for me winning, and I probably misplayed. You know what I mean? It's like I think about it after the game. I go, "Oh, I should have done X."
How killable is Toast? So how often has he died?
Wow. I don't think he has, and not because people don't try to kill him. It's just that the armor 1 and the all-terrain turtle and the 7 health, like if you put him within like 12 inches of your boy Bo, he just doesn't die.
Yeah, and I think he's at that sweet spot. I think him being 6 stones is right where you want him, because that's like cheap enough where I think he is easier to slot into your list for Zip, because a lot of Zip models are 7+.
Yes, a lot of models that I played against were 7+. He got me a bunch of uh, the half point for holding up their forces. Like,
Nice.
yeah, people don't see it coming. It's like, why is he so hard to kill? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm loving
Yeah.
it.
I don't know, but deal with it. Plus, this model is going to be sick. Just a undead turtle with wheels on it.
Witness me.
I don't even have to talk about my number 4 that much, Dixon, because my number 4 is actually it's Director Rodriguez.
Yeah, dude, and literally Toast barely beat him. Toast won
Yeah,
in brownie points.
yeah. And honestly, Toast might be point for point like more efficient than Director Rodriguez because 10 stones is a lot, right? Like
Correct.
it's easy for a 6 stone model to earn like more points than they should.
Yes.
But if your 10 stone henchman does not get you victory points, that's a problem.
It's a huge problem. Also, if your opponent can figure out a way to kill him, that's a
Oh
huge
yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
Because he
definitely.
was in every one of my games, he was 12 points. I always gave him a lit line code because he was going by himself to take
Mm.
over a corner. That was the entire purpose of him. And I remember, like, my favorite game was that. It's like I was playing basically it was corner deployment, and he just went by himself, and he just won every fight.
Do you think so? Looking at director, because I'm not going to talk about his
Yeah,
card again. 3, 4, 5, Breath of Fire, all that's
monster.
pretty good.
Yeah,
But do you think director Rodriguez and a lot of the other good fire models in Guild, do you think Sonya is getting better and more playable?
I mean, she has to be. I
I
don't
mean, she
know,
has some good models that she can reach for now.
dude. And that is a problem because the thing is, I should put her on the table again just to see, but I'm having so much fun with like Outcast, even getting my stuff pushed in.
I wouldn't even do Sonya. I would play Lady J and just slam this on the model or on the table and just be like, "Yep,
Yeah,
Director Rodriguez is happening."
every game that I played, Director Rodriguez was Lady J2, and every
Nice.
single one, he knocked it out of the park.
Ah, I see you're a man of culture yourself, huh?
I
Okay.
got kudos from my opponent too when we played because he said it's like I didn't really see why she was good because like I never gotten any value out of her, but like she's hard to take down. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
she's pretty tar pit.
Agreed. All right. So top 3, Dixon and I both have agreed that we kind of went more power here because I think when you get to the top 3, you're like, these models are really good. So
I think we're probably gonna agree with the top three to be honest.
it might just be an order thing. So
Yeah,
what is your number 3, Dixon?
Nightcrawler.
Oh, interesting. So why did you put the Nightcrawler number 3?
Honestly, survivability. Don't get me wrong, he's super survivable, but I think the second pick that I have is more survivable. And the second, literally the thing that I value the most, you already know, is survivability. And my second and first place are higher than him.
So I kind of agree with you unless the pool allows them to just not leave their deployment zone.
Correct. I agree.
Because you're putting out the little camera bots,
Yep.
and you can do everything except for like scheming based contact um, and the plant explosive markers. But besides that, you can do everything you need to do through the camera bots. So you don't even need to move if you don't really need to or don't want to.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was tempted to put in the camera bots as a joke, but I wasn't exaggerating or joking about the haberdashers. Haberdashers, when played well, will win games randomly. But camera
Yeah,
bots
and
are like almost as good. The only thing that the camera
these
bots
camera
like
bots, man,
basically
these things are ridiculous.
have
So,
that puts them out of any list in the top 20, in my opinion, is insignificant because you have to have the Nightcrawler.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not talking about the camera bots being in the top 10, but they're the reason why the Nightcrawler network is so high.
Yes, and I
Uh,
feel at least playing them a couple of times that you need to have at least one camera bot extra alongside with the Nightcrawler. To be perfectly honest.
if you're playing against the keywords that bring this with guard and journalist,
Right.
I would recommend bringing something that can target move and like a shockwave, like Sandeep type shockwave, where it's like, hey, make this duel or take 2 damage just so you can kill these things before they activate,
Yeah.
because then you get activation control on your opponent.
Yes.
That's how I've combated the camera bot crap.
I brought Rocketeers in my
Good,
Lady Justice
good
game
for
against,
you.
yeah, against the camera bots, because I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's gonna be journalists. I'm gonna see the Nightcrawler. So
because that's
here's
the thing.
Rocketeers.
You don't want to. You need something that's not melee to take care of the camera bots because they have extended reach, so you can't charge them.
Yeah.
So your AP efficiency isn't there. But if you just have a shockwave, like if you're playing a keyword that has a totem with a shockwave that can just kill these things, that's great.
Yeah.
But I would bring a model with a shockwave that targets move and just dunk these
Yep. Yep.
models.
I mean, size is hard to find, but any attack that is size, even if you have to walk up and attack them, it's also fantastic. Because
Yeah.
I didn't do Up We Go, because I
If you can
bonus
if you
action.
can do splash attacks onto these,
Yeah.
that's good as well.
Oh yeah, that actually happened, because you know how the Rocketeers. The reason the example that I'm using is Rocketeers, because I think Guild has a very easy answer against their own. You
Yeah.
know, so like Rocketeers have that bonus trigger to take a walk action and do an AOE too,
Yep.
and that was like taking care of a lot of these. So highly recommend Rocketeers if you're a Guild player playing against these.
Yeah, but going back to the actual model with the Nightcrawler network,
Yes,
the fact that he gives all of his abilities to the camera bots, so that's the extended reach, that's the spy network,
yes, and
just really good.
don't make the mistake that I made, because again, that's why I was saying it's like I feel after playing them a few times, you need to have an extra camera bot, because you can't just summon a camera bot and have the camera bot target him. You have to have a camera bot target another camera bot to then target him.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, and it's a solid model. The network cable's really good. The built-in basically slander if you're going through a camera bot to put out distracted and possibly +1 damage. Uh, it's a really efficient model.
Very good. Very, very good. Complete package. He's not
Yep.
even, I don't even think that he's OP. I think just people are going through the growing pains of arcing. Because like
Yep.
I've talked to a few players already that like they feel that arcing is a little too much, and I'm like, you just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, other keywords can do it.
Correct. I mean, it's not. It's been in the game. It's just that it's now growing. More keywords are getting it.
Yeah. My top three, my third best model that I put down was actually Ban Ying and the Sunless Selves.
Yep. Well, I mean, I can just say that's my number two. So what do you have to say about him?
So this guy's just pretty efficient. I mean, his biggest negative is that he tends to run out of chi in some games, and it's harder for him to be splashy if he kind of runs out of chi.
Oh no.
Uh, but I will say Ninja Vanish is really good on him because it just makes him super mobile.
Yes.
His Shadow Clone defensive trigger, move trigger is
Yes.
also really good.
It
And the
is.
biggest thing, though, is the fact that he makes these Sunless Self models that can't be killed. And then you can bring other models like Sensei Yu and just draw a bunch of cards by punching these models.
I don't think I played a game against 10 Thunders that is not against lands, and I don't see those two.
Yeah, I think it's just like paying 9 stones for Ban Ying and like 9 or 10 for Sensei Yu.
Yeah.
They're really good, solid models. But then you just add the fact that you can just draw a bunch of cards, and it's like, cool,
Yep.
this is really fun.
Also, the fact that once turn one passes, you basically get another round of drawing cards.
Yeah.
Because, like, all right, turn one, set up. I got Ban Ying now ready to go with fast and all that good stuff to score points on turn two. And then you still have the Sunless Stealth right there as a pass token for, whatever crazy shenanigans you want to do. He is way better than I even foresaw when we were talking about him. I was like, holy crap, this guy is like 8 points of just money. He just prints out VPs.
And we also see kind of another semi-archer here with Illusionary Strike because he can do his melee through Sunless Elves.
Yep.
So I thought I had Ban Ying in a game locked down. I was like, oh, good. I was playing Mei Fang. and I was like, I think I have him locked down where he can't kill May, but he ended up just throughout the turn getting a sunless self next to Mei Fang and then punching her to death, which was
Yeah,
made me feel sad in the pants.
I mean, I don't even know how to describe. Like, I hate whenever he gets the stupid, unworthy of her attention trigger, regardless of it's if it's art through a sunless self or not. It is so annoying, so
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah, and the Dark and Chi 6-inch range attack is also just really good.
Yeah, yeah. Usually I see that as a oh, one of my three actions. I hit with Dark and Chi. I charge you. I
Well,
get.
Shadow Pin's just a nasty trigger, dude.
It is so funny too. It's like why? Why do you have this?
Like that and Ivan as well. I'm just like, why do I see this in Ten Thunders now?
Yeah,
Why?
no.
Why?
This model is very, very, very good. And like he doesn't do like heinous amounts of damage, but he can do like 6 damage if you're not careful.
Oh, also with Ninja Vanish, he has a crow trigger that's super annoying with just pulsing out staggered.
Yep. Yeah, Dark and Chi is probably, in my opinion, much better than the Illusory Strike. Again, the Illusory Strike, you can hit for 6. Great, all that good stuff. But the Dark and Chi sets up so much garbage for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Some real and also if if you actually bring this in keyword, if you're playing Last Blossom, it is so terrifying to have so many avenues where Misaki can just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't remember if Lance was playing him against my Zip, but that would be a. Oh, actually, yeah, I think he was. I cannot kill him. I killed Ototo. I killed her, Misaki, and I killed the girl that summons paper demons. But Ban Ying just escaped me.
Yeah. Well, okay then. You said Banying was your number 2, right?
Yeah. So, what is your number 2?
So my number 2 is actually
Oh,
drum roll, please.
one more thing about Ban Ying.
Sure.
He's effectively defense 7, or he's stat 7 until you run him out of Chi, which is the reason why Pete says like if he has a problem with keeping up with Chi. It's like yeah, because that's basically the game plan. You try to get him run out of Chi.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 1 is actually Sightless Snow and Cedra, or not my number 1, I should say number 2.
No freaking way.
Yep.
No freaking way.
Yep, I put him number 2.
You are so high. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way. I mean, just spoiler, my number 1 is Nightcrawler Network, which I assume means that your number 1 Dixon is Cedra.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I could have flipped him either way. The reason why I did the Nightcrawler Network is just because of the arcing and being able to interact so heavily through those camera bots and just some of the lines of play you can do there. That being said, Cedra also has a lot of flexibility that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I said, I basically the tiebreaker for the 3 was like difficulty of killing, and Cedra takes the cake in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like, well, we should specify it's both models is the reason why they're so hard to kill.
yeah, and I think Cedra and Sightless Snow, it's because how mobile you are in the Cedra form, right? Because you have Onward, your movement 6, you have Call of the Mountain, so you can move other beasts in December around the board really well. You can switch out upgrades when you need to, which can give you stealth and disguised or armor or punchiness.
Yep.
It has a 3-4-5 attack. And then also, hey, by the way, you turn into this little Sightless Snow that just sets up all these different ways for you to get victory points.
Yes, and in both keywords, this thing is golden. You're gonna see this. I'm pretty sure you can see this thing even out of keyword. To be honest.
Oh, I brought it with Sandeep too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because you can.
It was money. It was gold, Jerry. Gold.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. This thing is
because you know who puts out ice pillars? Sandeep.
Sandeep. Yeah. And the ice golem. If you're deciding to go with the ice golem, Cedra, it's as if Midnight Stalker pre-nerf. Yes.
Well, and the reason why Sightless Snow kind of starts setting up a lot of your scheming kind of points is because The bonus lets you put out, possible scheme markers. You can push models, create an ice pillar. Breath of Frost with coordinated attack is also really sick.
Yeah, definitely
I
one you can
also
put
like
in.
how in both forms there are triggers to change back into the other form.
Yes, specifically the one from Silent Snow is pretty much game winning because you can get extra movement out of it, and Silent Snow has a bonus action that allows you to walk again. I mean, not Silent Snow, Cedra. So you can like
Yeah.
hit somebody with Silent Snow, turn back into Cedra, bonus action walk. You just got an extra, basically 40 millimeter base plus something else. It's pretty good.
Well, also, the thing is, I think most times, especially when you start mixing it up,
Correct.
you want to, in my opinion, you want to always get back into Cedra form because you have Demise Eternal.
Yes. I mean, let me.
So that way, if somebody does go just super hard to the paint on you, you have that as a backup.
So I want to say, because I think I said it way too fast. Liam in the chat is saying Cedra is as if the pre-nerf Midnight Stalker was tougher to kill and had a shapeshift option.
And they
And,
nerfed Midnight Stalker.
and exactly for the same point cost, by the way, because like Midnight Stalker was 8 points. It is 8 points as well. And
Liam, you're just a spiteful outcast player, okay?
I
Let the
mean,
Arcanists have their broken stuff.
but it's like it's so much better than the Midnight
It is.
Stalker, and the Midnight Stalker got nerfed. He's not wrong.
I mean, we're just at a different place now, Dixon. I don't know what to tell you. It's a
I don't.
new world out there.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I just like the fact that this thing can go into the middle of the table late game and survive is absurd to me.
Liam said that he awaits the retraction of the Midnight Stalker nerf.
I think at the point that we're in, you can probably do that and safely.
Wyrd's just like, you want to know what? Outcast player, you can have that one back.
Yeah. Oh, the thing that got Midnight Stalker nerf is the fact that he was in every list. Let's be frank here.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of the question about some of these top models. So the top three specifically, you have Nightcrawler Network, Cedra, and Ban Ying.
Yeah.
Do you think, Dixon, that any of those three models are too powerful?
Yes, we literally talked about
No question.
bro. Ban Ying, I'm not even exaggerating. Outside of Lance, Ban Ying has been in every single 10 Thunders list I've played against, no
That's
matter
fair.
what.
So I agree with Ban Ying. I'm actually not seeing Cedra. Actually, I think Cedra you will see out of keyword. I'm not seeing the Nightcrawler Network out of keyword that much, though.
Okay, that's fair. I think
I don't know. Are you? Because I mean, you play a little more with kind of like a more diverse
but
kind of
I saw it
community.
only once, and I saw it in the whatchamacallit, guy that shoots mortars or whatever. Tall. There you go.
Tall.
Yeah, I saw him in Tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was he in that?
Oh, he was fantastic because he just wombo combo. Well, not wombo combo. I shouldn't say that. He plays very well with terrain, so it doesn't matter. That you spend your. I think it was like 12 points in that list because it was 2 points for a camera bot and 8 points for the guy plus the 2 tax, so 12. And between him and Loiza, he got his schemes. I don't remember if I won that game.
Dixon, you played the Cedra, Bash, and Miranda list. How did you find that?
Bash was not up to snuff, in my opinion. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't like truly heinous. Meanwhile, Cedra MVP easily. I didn't even have to try that hard.
Yeah, I like that you can bring Miranda out of keyword just to do funny things with the beasts.
Yes, Miranda, by the way, also fantastic in that list. At one point in the game, they had already done so much work that they just separated. And Miranda went to one corner of the map and Cedra went to the other.
Yeah, and Cedra has just such a flexibility to be like, I'm going to go score you like 2 or 3 victory points, and then I'm going to come back to the fight and just murder things.
It's so dumb. That is so dumb.
Yeah, pretty good. I can definitely see Ban Ying getting touched. The Nightcrawler Network, I'm kind of interested to see what it does. I don't know if I think it needs nerfing. Cedra, so here's how I would probably change Cedra a hair, not a lot, but a little. Is I think I think doing the Hunter's Cunning and the other one, the triggers that let you change back into your other form,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to remove those. I think if you decide to go into Sightless Snow, you should be vulnerable for that turn.
Okay, I see.
And I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think Cedra just being able to go back into that form and just be like, hey, I got this demise to kind of go back on.
I think
Um,
I agree.
Liam saying without the demise and just overall just be like, hey, take demise eternal away from him.
Yeah, I agree with Liam more. I think that is just a step too far. So if they were to remove the Mice Eternal, I still think this model would be picket.
It'd
Would
still be
be
really good. It just that
yeah,
demise really keeps it on. It makes it where most games you really don't have to worry too hard.
yeah. I mean, I played it with the thing, the upgrade that gives it Soulstone use, and honestly, sometimes I just didn't even need to.
Yeah, you're like, I feel like this is just overkill at this point.
Yeah, it was like, I'm just gonna let you hit him. It's like what? It's like yeah,
Which
just
is the cool
go ahead.
thing with December, right? Because I was like, cool, I'm going to put Soulstone Cash on the Blessed of December, and I put it on something else, and then I'm like, Cedra doesn't even need it, and then the other minions have a tune, so I'm like, this is great. Everybody's using Soulstones and can't die.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so dumb.
That being said, I do think Rasputina needed a really good model,
Yes.
and I think Cedra is almost like the first mate of December, where it's like this is the model that's going to get you VPs and win you the day.
I wonder if Sandra is so self sufficient that it can be played even in performers. That is how
Even in what?
performer, like with Colette. I wonder
Uh,
if Cedra is self sufficient enough to play. Because like the thing is, I can't see this
I
thing.
think so. I think you can. I just don't think you need to in Colette because you're scheming pretty well, anyways.
Yeah, but this thing is pretty much better than like 2/3 of her models.
Yeah,
That's not even an exaggeration. Like if you were to look at like Carlos is like the only thing that I can see is like no, Carlos is still better in that list specifically.
yeah, yeah. But I don't think you would be paying 9 soul stones for Cedra. I don't think there's a problem with that. And Cedra can go. Cedra doesn't need other models to support her because remember, Cedra and Sightless Snow get an upgrade when you deploy them. And there's a trigger to switch out the different mutations. So you don't need support with Cedra. You could put it in any Arcanist list.
Hmm.
At least I think so.
I mean, I definitely want to have a little bit. I think the effect, the value that she brought to some of the keywords that were not as much played in well, not so much about Caramera, but December wasn't played that much, even though
Yeah.
that we found that there were many great uses for the title version of December. So I don't know. I still think that this model's value is on par, if not more, than Ban Ying. But the only thing at the time was how hard it is to kill compared to the other two.
Yeah. And I think another reason why you probably see Banying more than Cedra, especially out of keyword, is because Banying just gives you value and draws you a bunch of cards where Cedra is just really efficient and going to score you VPs.
That is an obscenely expensive uh, combo.
Card draw package.
19 points, and people pay it, and it
Yeah.
works.
Dude, people love drawing cards, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I don't see Cedra. Because, like, what are you going to bring with Cedra? Miranda? Like, come on.
Yeah, you don't need to though.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was like, I don't think you're gonna see Cedra as much as you're gonna see by Ying, specifically because there's no wombo combo to draw a bajillion cards.
Yeah. Yeah. And just very efficient. The only thing I will say is Cedric and Sightless Snow can tax your hand a little bit
Good God, yeah.
because if you miss like your flips for Call them Out and then you miss your flips for Onward and you have to cheat those on top of discarding at the beginning to switch into the different forms,
Yes.
on top of discarding a card so you don't die, it's like, and if you want to cheat some of your attacks so they go off, like sometimes I found I waste like 5 cards on throughout the turn just on Cedra and Sightless Snow.
Yeah, and I want to point out that yes, she is card hungry for a lot of stuff because she needs a lot of sixes and fives, but the value that I got out of this model was mostly from
Oh yeah.
turning into Sightless Snow, getting me VPs, and then going right back to being Cedra.
Yep.
Like that was
Oh
like
yeah.
the switch back and forth between the two is the reason why this model was so good. To be
Yeah,
very clear.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, because like Silas Snow gets VP through Beast and all that other good stuff that you need with the arcing part, which is very very powerful.
Oh yeah.
And then you go right back to being Cedra, be mobile, be hard to kill, blah 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 blah.
Yep. Yeah, it's a really good package. I will just say that.
Yeah, if anybody is like curious if I would hold like a 13 specifically for Silas Snow towards the end of the turn, I would like 100%.
What do you mean hold a 13?
13 of Rams just to like hit somebody with the Breath of Frost.
Oh, to turn into the stag?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've and want to know what, Dixon? I wouldn't be surprised if you hold a 13 of masks just so you can get coordinated attack off.
I'll do that just to you, just because it trolls you.
Oh man. Well, that is our top 10 list there, Dixon.
Yeah.
I was surprised you put the haberdashers in your list.
I wasn't exaggerating. Those models, if I did anything that was like above average, it was playing the haberdashers well, and I loved them.
Now, did you just summon these, or did you hire any?
Summon, never hire. Summon, and just randomly they'll score points because people forget about them. They're like, it's a 3-point model. What's it gonna do? And then it scores you points.
It's one of those things where it's just like if I didn't know better and I saw all these haberdashers, I would just be like, oh, these are significant. They don't look significant.
Yeah, dude, that is the sauce. That is the thing that made them, to me, like worthy of putting in that list. Because first, disguise, like literally, disguise made them harder to kill than they should. Yeah, so like people look at them, I was like, I don't want to walk over there to punch them once, and they just will survive for no reason.
Well, yeah, because if you're min 2, you might not kill it.
Exactly. Oh, it's so funny.
And I think your biggest surprise with my list, I'm guessing, was just Zhang.
Yeah, no. Probably more surprising was Zedra not being number 1.
I almost did that just to troll you, Dixon, because I was like, I think Dixon's putting Cedra number 1. I'm going to put Nightcrawler Network number 1.
I mean, I
got to make the guild players happy.
Yeah, and honestly, I shouldn't feel that bad because I feel that in the 2 keywords and even in Tall, he was just so frustrating to deal with. But he's so expensive. He's 12 points basically outside a keyword.
Yeah. You're talking about putting a code on him, right?
No. Although I don't think you need to put a code, but you could. It's not like completely bad. I'm talking about getting a camera bot in him is 12 points.
Okay.
Because I took into account also prices. Like, okay, how much are you paying to see these models? In Ban Ying, even though it's 19 points, man, was he everywhere.
If you're playing the Nightcrawler Network in keyword with guard, you can always just summon another camera bot with Dashel 1.
I guess you're right. I did not play with Dashel at all.
Because I've found that there were times where I would summon a camera bot and then I think maybe a rifleman or something. And, it's a 12 or a 13 to do that, but a lot of times it's worth it.
2 points. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think it's a 12 though, right? Because it's 2.
I think it might be an 11.
It's an 8, 4. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a 12. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. No. It's a 10 if you're using the stupid thing from the
dispatcher.
I hate that guy so much.
The dispatcher counting as an enemy ski marker.
That's right. So, yeah, that's a good point. Again, when I saw him and when I played him, I learned very, very quickly getting that extra camera bot because of From the Shadows. That's the big reason, by the way, because like you're going to plant the Nightcrawler Network somewhere near something that matters. And then you're just going to start popping out camera bots the rest of the game.
Yep. Yeah, because I think you're right. Getting a camera bot up the board early so then you can start summoning camera bots up the board, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, also you need one camera bot targeting him. So you need a camera bot within, I think it's range 6, like
Yeah.
for the rest of the game, because that way the camera bots can then arc through that camera bot to target him.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you're reverse arcing back to the Nightcrawler network.
Yes, and he wins games so hard that way. It's so dumb because he can. Okay, so a trick, you can, if as long as there's one within 6, right? And there's
Mhm.
say that there's a camera bot all the way forward, and you can't jump, right, that camera bot to within 2 inches or 1 inch of an enemy master or something that matters, then you can have that camera bot go, "Hey, you, Nightcrawler network in my deployment zone, take an interact action through me within 1 inch of the enemy master to score, deliver a message, or
Or
X,
to
Y, and
steal
Z."
intel tokens.
It's so dumb because the thing is that they don't
Or to
go.
vote.
The my opponent did that against me. He stole my intel tokens, and the intel tokens go onto the Nightcrawler network. So they literally teleport basically like 20 inches back to him. It's so
Well,
stupid.
also keep in mind that the camera bots do have exclusive interview,
Hmm.
which people forget about all the time. And then it's like, hey, I'm going to interact to drop this ski marker. And it's like,
Oh,
actually, I'm going to have you interact to do this instead.
it is. You have to kill them. Like literally, it gets to a point that you're like, okay, I have to kill you.
Especially if they're sitting like next to a ballot.
Yeah, they're like within 2 inches of something that you love.
So if a camera bot or Nelly's crew with exclusive interview is next to a ballot box
Mhm.
and you interact with an enemy model, I can tell them to vote for me instead of them, correct?
Yeah, no,
Be like,
that's how it works. Yeah,
you meant you were going to vote for me.
dude. I played in yeah. Actually, because I only played Nelly when I was playing Cloak and Dagger, and I was playing. So me playing Nelly. Like I said, I played these stupid things, and I just like parked them within 2 inches of something that you love and hold dear, and
Yeah.
they were just like enough to tip the game into my favor.
Nice. Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
annoying enough. Like camera bots are just annoying enough where they're good.
why do they have extended reach?
That's kind of the thing that makes them really annoying.
It is. That was the reason why I won. I'm pretty sure my opponent couldn't get to me.
And they have stealth. That's the other one.
I mean, the stealth. You're right. The stealth matters, but like literally, it was to disguise, just put people over the edge.
Yeah. Well, Dixon, that's our list. Is there anything else you want to share, Malifaux wise or real life wise?
I'm actually loving where the what you call it, the developing of the game is going. I don't know how you feel about it. The only
Yeah.
thing that I'm very sad about is, like I said in our review of Neverborn, I don't feel that Neverborn got the same love.
Did you have a Neverborn model on your list?
No, no.
I did not have a Neverborn model on my list either.
Yeah, there's a very good reason for that. And don't get me
I'm
wrong,
sorry,
like
Neverborn. I'm sorry, Neverborn players.
Delirium is hilarious, but I would probably put him in the top 20, not in the top 10.
Gotcha. So they were like kind of like, they're approaching, but not close enough to be honorable.
Yeah, like Delirium, very good beater in a GG that doesn't really like cares about beaters that are not fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually noticed that when when I make these top 10 lists, just to kind of like peek behind the curtain for people, I generally try to do one per faction because in a fair and balanced game, I would think that every faction would have something that was really, really, really good. But I started looking through all the Ashes stuff I'll pull it up right here while we're kind of talking about it. And I just started kind of going through, going the wrong way, these Neverborn models. And I'm like, okay, let's see what we got here. We got the Crook skin. I'd say the Crook skin's probably my favorite, but it's not. There's so many more powerful things.
They're not in a top 20 list, but they are very. They're
the Wyrdwood's
models.
Okay. Delirious, Thralls, Delirium, pretty solid. Ithana, she might be the closest one that I considered.
I mean,
The Leech King, I'm not a fan of, and the sisters seem a little too complex for my liking.
I don't know, man. When like two of the worst models in the freaking book are in the same faction.
Liam said that Neverborn got Cedra at least.
Oh my god, he's not wrong.
Yeah, okay. So there, we did it.
We
Good job,
did.
Liam. You saved the podcast. We got an Everborn model on there.
Neverborn got an OP model in Cedra.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I was very sad about that because like the thing is like,
Yeah,
uh,
because you're an Everborn Homer.
dude, giant leeches and the Leech King were such a down, freaking.
You're pretty down on them. There are some people that kind of like them, but you're just like, nope.
Well, they have some cool theme to them because it's
Yeah.
making fun of like the Leech King, the actual model from like Warcraft.
Yeah.
So I get it, but when I saw them mechanically and I played them, I was like, this is so bad.
This ain't it.
Dude, because the thing is, I tried to play him at least once in Zoraida 2, specifically because she gets +1 to all stats. Yeah, it wasn't enough. It has the same problem as the guy with the gator. Remember the guy with the gator with the
Yeah, McTavish.
yeah, McTavish. Even though he gets +1 to all stats, there are so many other better models. Like I would
Wow.
get the spawn mother before I get McTavish, and
Fair.
she doesn't see play that much.
Yep. So I hope people enjoyed our top 10 list. It was definitely fun coming together and sharing ideas with Dixon.
Oh yeah.
Let us know, because this is going to go up on YouTube as well. So let us know in the comments what are some of your favorite Ashes of Malifaux models. And then don't forget, you can check out the YouTube video in the description and make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to possibly win the Nightcrawler Network, which was the number 1 model on my list, and I think the number 3 on your list, Dixon. Just tell us why you want that model.
Yeah, he was 3 on me. Yeah.
But until next time, make sure that you guys are flipping cards and flipping tables, and we will see you all later.